Men, pay attention. You've been told a lie your whole life. They told you her past doesn't matter, that who she slept with, what she did, and how she lived before you shouldn't concern you, that real men don't care. But here's the cold truth. Her past can ruin your future. Every decision she made before you, every ex, every heartbreak, every reckless night, doesn't just vanish when she meets you. It doesn't stay locked away like an old diary. It comes with her, it follows her, and one day it will land in your lap. Men lose marriages, money, and even their minds because they ignored this one truth. They thought love would erase history. They thought they'd be the exception, and they paid the price. If you don't listen to this message, you could be next. 1. Her past shapes her present. Men, you need to understand this. The past is never gone. It doesn't matter how much she smiles today, how much she says she's different now, or how much she swears she's ready for something real. Her past is still living inside her. Every relationship she's been in, every man she gave her heart to, every heartbreak, every wild night, every mistake, those aren't just memories, they're blueprints. And those blueprints shape the woman sitting in front of you. If she was cheated on, she walks into your life with suspicion already planted in her mind. If she dated liars, she'll question your every word. If she was hooked on toxic men, don't be surprised when your stability feels boring to her. And if she's lived years chasing chaos, peace may feel like prison. You think you're starting fresh. You think you're building something new. But the truth is, you're stepping into a story that's already been written, and whether you realize it or not, you're being compared to the men who came before you. And here's the danger. You can't control those comparisons. You don't even know when they're happening. Maybe it's during an argument. Maybe it's when she scrolls through old photos. Maybe it's in the quiet moments when her mind drifts. But in her head, you're constantly measured against ghosts. This is why so many men get blindsided. They meet a woman, they see the charm, the laughter, the warmth, and they believe they're starting fresh. They don't realize they're walking into a battlefield already filled with scars, already carrying landmines from wounds they didn't cause. Her past is not behind her. Her past is sitting across from you at dinner. It's lying in bed next to you at night. It's in her fears, her doubts, her reactions, her expectations. And when the pressure hits, when life tests the relationship, those old scars don't stay hidden. They bleed into the present. You are not just dating the woman you see. You are dating the collection of choices, memories, and experiences that built her. And if you pretend otherwise, you're not walking into love. You're walking into a storm you don't even see coming. 2. The bond weakens over time. Men, love isn't just about emotions. It's about biology, chemistry, and wiring deep inside the brain. A woman doesn't just bond to a man with her heart. She bonds with her body. Every time she gives herself to a man, her brain floods with chemicals designed to attach her to him. The first time, the bond is strong. It feels pure, fresh, unbreakable. Like brand new glue, it sticks tight. But here's the brutal truth. Every time that bond is broken, it weakens. Each breakup, each betrayal, each short fling chips away at her ability to deeply attach. Think of it like tape. The first time you press it down, it sticks firm. Peel it off, press it again. It still holds, but not as well. Do it 10, 20, 50 times, and eventually the tape barely clings at all. That's what happens to pair bonding. It wears down with repetition. Science proves this. Hormones like oxytocin, the same powerful chemical that bonds mothers to their newborns, don't fire the same way after countless releases. The more times she bonds and breaks, the weaker the bond becomes with the next man. It's not just an opinion. It's not just old-fashioned. It's biology. And it doesn't stop at oxytocin. Dopamine, the pleasure chemical, also plays a role. Each new partner gives her a rush of novelty, but like a drug, dopamine builds tolerance. The more she chases new experiences, the more her brain demands bigger thrills to feel alive. That means when she finally settles with you, stable, consistent, loyal, it can feel empty to her nervous system. Not because you're boring, but because her brain is wired to crave chaos and intensity. So you walk in thinking you're her future, but you may just be her crash, because her body has trained itself to detach quickly, to chase the next high, to feel restless in calm waters. This is why so many men end up shocked. They provide stability, loyalty, love, and still find her distant, cold, or easily distracted. They think, what did I do wrong? When in reality, the bond didn't break with them. It broke long before they arrived. Here's the harsh truth. You can't outlove biology. You can't rebuild what's been worn down to dust. And if you ignore this, you'll spend your future trying to fill a cup that can no longer hold water. So when people say, her past doesn't matter, remember this. Her past doesn't just matter. It determines whether she can even bond with you at all. 3. The ghosts of her exes. Men, this is the part most men never see coming. You think when you enter her life, you're starting fresh. You think it's just you and her, no one else. But the truth is, you're never alone. Her past doesn't disappear. It sits in the room with you, invisible but powerful. The ghosts of every man before you live inside her mind, and whether she means to or not, she brings them into your relationship. If one ex had more money, you'll feel it in the way she talks about ambition. If one had more passion, you'll sense it in her silence when intimacy feels different. If one had more edge, you'll hear it in the subtle digs about you being too safe. You think you're competing with other men in the real world, but you're not. You're competing with memory, and here's the cruel part. Memory always wins. Because a memory doesn't age, it doesn't fail, it doesn't show flaws, it stays frozen at its best. And you, a real man, can never outcompete a ghost. This is why arguments suddenly dig up the past. Why an ex's name slips into conversations. Why small mistakes trigger outsized reactions. It's not really about you, it's about the unresolved shadows she still carries, and it goes deeper. Every man she let into her life left an imprint, a mark on her psychology, her expectations, her emotional baseline. One gave her the thrill of the chase, another gave her chaos, another gave her heartbreak. Together, those experiences create a list of comparisons that you don't even know you're being measured against. So you're trying to love her, protect her, build with her, while she's silently replaying the greatest hits of her past. It's death by 1,000 comparisons. Not always spoken, not always obvious, but always there. Think about this. If you're with her, and she ever sighs that quiet sigh, is she thinking about the man who made her feel wild? If she looks at you with disappointment, is she comparing you to the man who gave her something you can't? These questions eat away at men, and they're not paranoia, they're reality. Because women compare, always, not to be cruel, but because the brain remembers highs and lows. And once she's tasted extremes, ordinary love can feel like a downgrade. So, here's the harsh truth. You're not just dating her, you're dating her past, her benchmarks, her comparisons, and her ghosts. And if you don't understand this, you'll spend your future fighting battles with men who aren't even there. Men who left years ago, but still live rent-free in her head. And you can't win that war, because you can't fight what you can't see. For trauma never disappears. Men, here's the truth no one dares to tell you. Pain doesn't vanish when a new relationship begins. It travels. Every scar, every betrayal, every lie, every toxic relationship she's endured. It doesn't disappear when she meets you. It's carried forward like luggage. And if you don't see it clearly, that luggage gets dumped straight into your lap. If she was cheated on, you'll feel the sting of her paranoia every time your phone buzzes late at night. If she dated a liar, you'll be interrogated over small mistakes until trust feels impossible. If she chased chaos, your loyalty and peace will seem boring, and she'll start craving drama without even realizing it. If she was used, your desire for her may feel like another man's selfishness. You inherit battles you never fought. You pay for wounds you never caused. Psychologists call it projection, when someone pastes their old pain onto a new person. But this isn't some abstract theory. It's real. It's daily life. And it feels like walking through a minefield. One wrong step, one careless word, one moment of weakness, and suddenly you're paying the price for another man's betrayal. And here's the hardest part. You can't heal what you didn't break. You can't outlove trauma. You can't outpatient deep scars. You can't fix wounds that were carved years before you arrived. All you can do is bleed while trying. And the more you try, the more you lose yourself in the process. This is how strong men slowly crumble. At first, you tell yourself, I can help her heal. I can be different, but little by little, suspicion turns into arguments. Arguments turn into distance, and distance turns into resentment. And all the while, you're draining your strength, your confidence, your masculinity, fighting a battle you can't win. And trauma doesn't stay small. It compounds. Like debt stacking on top of debt, interest growing until it crushes the borrower. Each unresolved relationship adds more weight, more fear, more anger. And when it all lands on you, you're not just her boyfriend or husband, you're her therapist, her punching bag, her emotional crutch. But here's the tragedy. You weren't built to carry that load. Your mission as a man is not to endlessly fix someone else's broken pieces. Your mission is to build, to lead, to conquer. And the more you take on trauma that isn't yours, the further you drift from the mission that makes you who you are. This is why so many men wake up years later bitter, drained, and hollow. They didn't lose their energy at the gym, or at work, or on their goals. They lost it in a relationship where they carried ghosts, scars, and trauma that wasn't theirs to bear. Men, remember this. Trauma doesn't reset. It compounds. If you ignore that truth, her past becomes your prison. 5. Your future is at risk. Men, this is where the danger becomes more than personal. Your entire future is on the line. When you choose the wrong woman, you're not just risking your heart. You're risking your peace of mind, your financial stability, your mental health, and even your mission as a man. 1. Peace of mind. A relationship with the wrong woman becomes a storm you can't escape. You wake up to suspicion, go to bed with arguments, and spend your days walking on eggshells. Instead of calm, you live in chaos. Instead of focus, you drown in drama. And over time, that constant stress chips away at your confidence until you don't even recognize yourself. 2. Money. Make no mistake, courts don't care about your feelings, your loyalty, or your sacrifice. They care about payouts. Divorce is one of the most expensive decisions a man can ever face. Alimony, child support, splitting assets, decades of work gone in an instant. Men have lost fortunes not because they failed in business, but because they failed in choosing the right partner. Jeff Bezos, Dr. Dre, Johnny Depp, billionaires, celebrities, powerful men, all undone not by rivals, but by the women they once trusted. If it can happen to them, it can happen to you. 3. Mental health. The wrong woman doesn't just drain your wallet, she drains your soul. Constant suspicion turns love into a prison. Endless comparisons turn affection into resentment. You stop being her man and start being her therapist, her punching bag, her scapegoat. And in the process, you lose your confidence, your masculinity, and your joy. You thought you were saving her, but instead, you're sacrificing yourself. 4. Your mission. And this, men, is the deadliest cost of all. A man without focus is no man at all. You were designed to build, to lead, to conquer. But when you tie yourself to the wrong woman, your mission gets replaced with her chaos. Instead of chasing your goals, you chase her approval. Instead of building your empire, you're patching holes in her broken foundation. And slowly, without even realizing it, you abandon the very purpose that made you strong in the first place. And here's the truth. A man without a mission becomes a passenger in his own life. The wrong relationship doesn't just cost you money. It doesn't just cost you peace. It costs you your destiny. That's why ignoring her past isn't noble, it's suicide. Because when you close your eyes to her history, you're gambling with your future. You're putting everything you've worked for, your peace, your mind, your legacy, on the line for someone who may not even have the ability to stay loyal, stable, or grateful. One reckless choice in who you allow into your life can destroy decades of progress. And the saddest part? Most men don't realize it until it's too late. Men, understand this. Your future is too valuable to gamble on the wrong woman. Protect it, guard it. Because no empire, no dream, no destiny can survive if the foundation it rests on is poisoned. Men, let this sink in. You've just heard the truth. Her past can shape her present. It can weaken her ability to bond. It can fill your life with ghosts, bury you under her trauma, and put your entire future at risk. But here's the good news. You are not powerless. The man who sees reality clearly has the advantage. The man who ignores it becomes another casualty. The choice is yours. Step 1. Stop feeling guilty for standards. The world will try to shame you. Real men don't care about her past. You're insecure. You're controlling. Those are lies designed to silence you. Standards are not insecurity. Standards are survival. Having boundaries is how men protect their legacy. Never let anyone make you feel guilty for protecting your peace. Step 2. Build yourself. First, a man with no mission gets trapped in someone else's chaos, but a man with purpose cannot be swayed. Build your body, build your mind, build your empire, because when you're on your path, you stop chasing validation and start commanding respect. The wrong woman won't distract you, and the right one will align with your vision. Step 3. Refuse to carry what isn't yours. Her scars are not your punishment. Her baggage is not your burden. You are not a therapist. You are not a savior. You are not a replacement father figure for her past mistakes. You are a man. Your role is to lead, to build, to protect your purpose. If a woman cannot bring peace into your life, she doesn't deserve a place in it. Sometimes the strongest move isn't holding on, it's walking away. Step 4. Remember the bigger picture. This isn't just about dating. This is about destiny. Men have lost empires, fortunes, and decades of their lives by ignoring the warning signs. Don't let that be you. Protecting your future isn't selfish, it's your duty. A man's mission matters not just to him, but to his family, his community, and the world he will leave behind. Men, here's the truth. Ignoring reality doesn't make you noble, it makes you vulnerable. Society doesn't care if you get broken. Courts don't care if you lose everything. The only one responsible for protecting your future is you. So choose wisely. Stand tall. Protect your legacy. If this message hits something deep inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this with a brother who needs to hear it. Hit like, subscribe, and join us, because this isn't just a channel. This is a movement of men who refuse to be blind, who refuse to be broken, who refuse to let their future be destroyed by someone else's past. Stay sharp, stay strong, stay awake, and remember, your destiny is too important to gamble on the wrong choice.